Welcome to night milling.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the mill. We are doing night milling tonight. It's going to be an evening full of milling. On the bed right now is a piece of eastern white spruce. On that end it's 12 inches, on that end it's 18. It has a wicked taper and flare. It also has a couple of bends in it in the middle. We're going to see if we can cut it down, and something this size should get us 8x8 or similar. This, I think we're only going to be able to get 6x6 out of when it's all said and done. But you know how it goes. We'll see. As always, thanks for watching. Here we go. I'm gonna take you on a walk to show you how really wonky this log is.
So I'm sure it looks a little twisted from here, but when you actually come down to the far end and take a look at it, this thing wanders back and forth all over the place. It really has a lot of twists to it. So like I said, that's the 9 cut. I'm gonna slice down again and at 8 and see how much material is still left, and then flip it up and see if we can get an 8x8 out of it. Another thing I wanted to point out is, in our last video, I said, you know, we're running straight RV fluid here in the reservoir for lube. It has a really low freeze point, so it tends to keep the lines clean. Anybody who's milling in the winter knows exactly what I'm talking about, and it does a pretty nice job of keeping the actual blade clean. As far as how much we're using, it's a pretty good indicator here. I mean, this dust, that should give you an idea of how wet it's running. I mean, this is not fine dust at all. I mean, this is sopping wet. But yeah, especially in spruce. You really gotta put the liquid to it, otherwise the cut in the blade wants to wander. All right, I'm gonna put you back where you belong. Also, for all my other winter sawyers who are still out there cutting and aren't even under cover and out there thawing and scraping, the logs are frozen and, you know, they still want to fight. Winter milling is a whole different animal than summertime. So I'm gonna make the 8-inch cut. I already know it's gonna be short in a couple of places. I just wanna see exactly what it is, and maybe if there's enough left, we'll take a half and a half and then make 2 posts at 8x8 instead of cutting the whole thing down to 6x6, but we'll see.
though I was hoping, it ended up being a 6x6, kind of like I thought. It just goes to show that logs that have, you know, back and forth whips in them, it's just such a ridiculous amount of loss. Not to mention the amount of cuts you have to do to cant up the log. So when you're buying or when you're having stuff delivered, it's a real good idea that unless you have a specific use for like logs like that, whether they're going to be a detail or the curb is going to be incorporated into something, it's probably best not to get that, because the return on cutting for yield is negligible. I mean, I'll get a couple of usable boards out of this log, but again, I don't feel too guilty about it, just because we did a trade with a friend of ours for a lot of this lumber, so I didn't really have to pay out of pocket. It's just, especially in winter, the effort that you're going to be making, you really want to make the most out of your cutting time. As always, thanks for watching. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really does help us out. As always, be safe, be well, and we'll see you on the next one.